Good evening, guys. You're listening to Cruel Crimes and Cold Case Shorts. Tonight's case is one that shook not just New Zealand, but the entire world. The murder of 21-year-old British backpacker Grace Millane. This case created global conversations about online dating safety. We'll be discussing strangulation, coercive control, and male violence. We're going to break down the full timeline, the digital evidence, the offender's behaviour, before and after the homicide, the trial, and the impact that the trial had taken on Grace's family after her death. Let's get into it, guys. So, Grace's background. Who was Grace? Grace Millane was 21. She grew up in Essex, in England, in a big, loving family. She was bubbly, artistic, social, and very adventurous. After finishing uni, she planned a once-in-a-lifetime trip around the world. Starting in South America, then heading to New Zealand for her birthday. She updated her parents every single day. She was always online, always connected, which becomes extremely important later on, because when those messages suddenly stopped, her family knew instantly that something was wrong. The match. Meeting her killer. Grace matched with a man through Tinder while staying in Auckland. They began chatting, texting, messaging, and arranged to meet on December the 1st, 2018, the night before her 22nd birthday. The pair visited several bars. CCTV captured them talking, laughing, flirting, and appearing at ease together. Grace seemed to be comfortable. She had no idea the man sitting across the table from her had a history of violent sexual fantasies, a pattern of coercive behaviour, and a fixation on strangulation. This wasn't a one-off accident. This was a pattern hiding in plain sight. The hotel room, the night Grace died. They went back to his hotel room at the City Life Hotel. What happened inside that room that night, only two people know, but only one person walked back out of that room. The man claimed it was rough sex gone wrong, but the story collapsed instantly. Forensic experts testified that the injuries Grace sustained could not have been caused accidentally or through consensual activity. The pressure was sustained, controlled, deliberate, long enough to cause unconsciousness and death. What he did after killing her is what seals this as a murder. The aftermath. The most chilling part. Instead of calling for help, instead of showing any panic or remorse, he did pick up his phone, but he Googled the hottest fire. Then he searched way to care ranges. Then he looked up how to dispose of a body. He took intimate photos of Grace after she had died. He watched adult content. He calmly arranged a second Tinder date for the next day. At 8 a.m. on December 2nd, which was actually Grace's birthday, while her mum was sending her loving messages across the world, this man was out buying a suitcase, buying cleaning products and a shovel. CCTV later showed him wheeling that suitcase through the lobby of the City Life apartments. This wasn't showing panic, this was showing calculation. The disposal, the shallow grave. He rented a car, drove out to the Whitaker Ranges, a forested area west of Auckland, unzipped the suitcase and buried Grace in a shallow grave. He went back into the city, carried on with his life, and even had the audacity to meet another woman later that same day. Meanwhile, Grace's family still had not heard from her. The investigation and how the police solved it. When Grace didn't respond to birthday messages, her parents raised the alarm. New Zealand police did act fast. They traced her phone data, her movements, CCTV from every bar, her Tinder messages, the rental car, the hotel lifts, the shopping receipts, the digital timeline. All of these things were traced by the police. Everything pointed directly to the last man she was seen with. When detectives interviewed him, his story changed every time he opened his mouth. His lies contradicted CCTV, contradicted forensics, and contradicted digital records. And when police eventually challenged him with the evidence, he folded. Grace's body was found on December the 9th. The trial. No more hiding. At trial, the defence ran with the same tired excuse of rough sex gone wrong. But forensic pathologists testified that the force used was prolonged, not accidental, and entirely incompatible with consensual intimacy. The jury saw straight through every lie. In November 2019, he was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 17 years. The impact, what Grace's case changed. Grace's death led to widespread discussion about the danger of erotic asphyxiation, coercive control, and the misuse of consent as an excuse for violence. Also, how strangulation increases homicide risk by 700%. Her family launched the Love Grace campaign, providing handbags filled with toiletries for women fleeing domestic abuse. Grace's legacy is one of awareness, safety, and change. She deserved to be coming home. She deserved to come home. And she deserves to be remembered. Now, if you or anyone you know feels unsafe or experiencing DV, then please, if you're in the UK, call the National Domestic Abuse Helpline on 0808 2000 247. That's 0808 2000 247. The US, the National DV line is 1-800-799 and the word SAFE. That's 1-800-799-SAFE. Just know that you are not alone, and always take the time to check in on people, because if Grace's family hadn't have taken that time to check in, or if you notice a difference in the pattern of communication that you usually have with somebody, if that all of a sudden changes or all of a sudden stops, then you really, really should just take a couple of minutes out of your day to do something about it, whether it's contact their family, try calling them instead of messaging them, or even if you're that worried, contacting your local authority. Because without doing that, who knows how many more women this man would have hurt. I'd like to give my condolences to Grace Millane's family, and I would hope that they think that this was done with dignity and respect. And also, I would like to thank today's sponsors, MT Comps. And also, just to let you know, I would love it if you could join me on the next episode. I've had so much inspiration from reading about Grace's story, and also if you want to help, please get involved. Search on Google Love Grace campaign, see how you can get involved, how you can support, or even just donate some money, donate bags. I don't know, I'm not quite sure yet. I'm going to look into it myself. I really think that they could do with the support from people and to keep Grace's legacy going. So I've been Chez. This has been Cruel Crimes and Cold Case Shorts, and I shall see you next time. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and stay alert. Good night, guys.
Christmas.
No, at the weekend.
The weekend for fire and ice in town. Look at the Christmas lights.